The jet engine hummed. The cabin lights were dim. Robert Johnson was flying home. He sat in his first-class seat. This was a long flight. He needed rest. Robert was a successful man. He worked very hard for his success. He was the CEO of a huge holding company. A flight attendant walked by. She was polite. She offered Robert a hot towel. Everything was perfect. Then, Robert grew hungry. He pressed the button. The flight attendant returned. Robert asked for the meal he ordered. He pointed to his seat number. The smile vanished. The attendant paused. Her face hardened slightly. She spoke a few words. Those words cut Robert deep. They cut him harder than any economic loss. They were words of instant judgment. She denied him the food. "I'm sorry, sir," she said. "That meal is reserved for our actual first-class passengers." Robert felt the anger rise. He gripped the armrest. He pulled out his ticket. He showed her his name. He showed her his seat. He showed her his ticket cost. It did not matter. She saw a black man. She judged him unworthy. The disrespect was immense. The irony was devastating. Robert did not argue. He did not yell. Instead, he made one simple phone call. He called his executive assistant. He told his assistant what was happening. Then, Robert delivered the final crushing blow. The CEO who was denied a meal was about to reveal the ultimate truth. He owned the entire plane. This is the story of how one man used his power to fight a common injustice. This is a story about hidden racism. It is a lesson in power, dignity, and civil rights law. Robert Johnson was a big success. He didn't just get lucky. He earned every bit of it. He runs a huge company. He was used to respect. The plane felt safe and quiet. That's what first class is supposed to feel like. Robert was tired. He just wanted his dinner. He called the flight attendant over. Her name was Sarah. She looked nice. But her smile went away fast. The meal denial. Robert asked for the special meal he ordered. This was when the problem started. Sarah told him no. She was very polite, but very firm. She said the special meal was not for him. She said it was only for the real first-class people. Think about that for a second. Robert had paid full price. He was sitting in the best seat. He stayed calm. He showed her his ticket. It clearly showed his seat number. It showed the high price he paid. Sarah did not look at the paper for long. She looked at Robert. She shook her head. She did not believe he belonged there. The pain of injustice. Robert felt that old, painful heat rise up inside him. This feeling was familiar. It was the feeling of being judged by one thing: his skin color. They didn't see his hard work. They did not see his success. They only saw a man they thought shouldn't be in that seat. He wanted to yell. He wanted to shout, "You know who I am?" But he is a CEO. He kept his cool. He knew he had to stay calmer than everyone else. This is a special, unfair tax that successful black people often pay. You always have to be perfect. You cannot show anger. Robert's chest felt tight. His pride was hurt badly. His mind was racing. He kept thinking one sad question: not even up here. Not even now? He took a slow, deep breath. He decided this could not stand. He decided to fight back. But he would fight back with silence and with power. He put his ticket away. He reached into his pocket. He pulled out his phone. He did not call the airline complaint line. He called his executive assistant. Sarah felt stuck. She didn't want to admit she was wrong. She did not want to serve Robert. She decided to call her manager for help. The manager arrives. Mark was the chief purser. He was the boss of the flight crew. He wore a sharp, fancy jacket. He looked very important. Mark walked over to Robert's seat. He looked down at Robert. He did not look friendly. Mark was even ruder than Sarah. He didn't even try to hide his judgment. He told Robert, "Look, sir, you need to calm down." Mark gave Robert two final choices. You can move to the back of the plane, or you can sit down and wait. We will only serve you after every true first-class person has eaten. He questioned Robert's ticket again. He questioned Robert's right to be there. The breaking point. This was too much. Robert had held his temper for so long. He always had to be the better person. But now, he was finished being polite. He ended his phone call quietly. He put the phone down. He looked Mark right in the eyes. Robert's voice was low and steady. It was the calm voice of a man who makes billion-dollar decisions. "I am finished with this disrespect," Robert said. Mark started to argue. Robert cut him off. He pointed at Mark, and then at Sarah. "I need you both fired," Robert said clearly. "I want you walked off this plane when we land. And bring me my meal now." Mark laughed a little. It was a nervous, rude laugh. "You can't do that, sir," Mark said. "You have no power here." Robert smiled, but it was not a happy smile. He said for simple words that changed everything. Double quotes, "Yes, I can. I own it." Mark and Sarah froze. Their faces went completely white. They knew they had made a terrible mistake. They had not just been rude, they had insulted the owner. The immediate fallout Mark tried to apologize right away. He stammered. He looked terrified. Sarah started to cry. Robert just held up his hand. "It is too late for apologies," he said. "You made your choice. You chose to judge me. Now you must live with the cost." He finally got his meal. But Robert didn't enjoy it much. The taste of victory was mixed with the taste of pain. He won the fight, but the whole fight should never have happened. The emotional Robert felt totally tired. He felt defeated even after winning. This is the truth of fighting racism. You win the moment, but the pain stays with you. He had to use his power just to get basic respect. That is exhausting. That is the heavy toll of being black and successful in America. The civil rights lesson. Let's talk about the important part, the law. What the flight crew did was more than just mean. It broke the law. We have laws in America to stop this kind of unfairness. They are called civil rights laws. One very important rule is Title II of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This law says that places that serve the public cannot treat people differently. They cannot do it because of their race. An airline, like a restaurant or a hotel, is a public place. It must serve all people equally. The crew treated Robert badly just because he was black. That is illegal. It is called discrimination. The airline pays the price because of this discrimination. The airline faced huge trouble. When the plane landed, Robert's staff was waiting. They fired Mark and Sarah right away. They were escorted out of the airport. The airline had to pay a big fine. They had to promise to train all their workers better. They had to teach them about respect and fairness. Robert was not just fighting for his meal. He was fighting for every person who ever got looked down upon. He proved that no matter who you are, you have a right to be treated with dignity. The story of Robert Johnson is over, but the big lesson lives on. The true meaning of dignity. Robert did not have to buy a plane to be worthy of respect. No one does. His money did not make him right. The law did. We must always remember this simple fact. Most people do not own the company. They cannot fire the rude workers. They just take the pain and the anger home with them. This is why we must fight for fairness. Robert's story shows that sometimes you must fight a massive fight for a little thing, like a first-class meal. Know your rights. This is why knowing your rights is so important. Civil rights laws are there for everyone. They protect you from being treated unfairly. They make sure you are treated with dignity, no matter what you look like or where you sit. Never forget this story. Never forget that fairness is a right, not a privilege. Please help us know we ask something of you. We believe these stories need to be heard. If this story moved you, if it made you think, and if you learned something new about your rights, please do two important things for us. 1. Subscribe to our channel right now. We share respectful, in-depth stories like this every single week. We need your support to keep going. Point 2. Share this video with someone you care about. We need to spread the word about dignity and fairness to everyone. Thank you for watching and for standing for what is right.